2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast. Brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice!
Hey, Luke Ski!
What is happening on the fantabulous FuMPCast this week? Hey!
This is episode 523 of the Funny Music Podcast, and we have Joe J. Thomas in the house. What's up, Joe?
Oh my God, it's wonderful in here.
Coming to us once again from the lovely nostril cam.
It's a magical place of nose hair.
We will have a pre-recorded interview with Steve Goodie coming up later in the show. He's got some kind of conflict going on tonight. Probably another one of those internet streams that everyone is doing because, you know, nobody's leaving their house. But let's do the thing.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke failed and didn't show up.
Hey! What? Oh, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
Well, I got... There's a couple of commission things that I was paid to do by friends back in, about January-ish. And because they are friends, they said, there's, no deadline for it. Just do it whenever you have the time to do it. So that, of course, kept getting it put off because other things did have deadlines and such. So I am at this point where I very much want to move on to working on making some new animatics to put on my my portfolio page, because I'm about to begin this concerted effort to make new content for my portfolio and really get, proactive about trying to find another full-time job in the animation industry before the end of August. So that's about to get rolling. I'm going to be making one of these animatics I'm going to do. In fact, I might start with this just for the sake of retraining myself on using the Storyboard Pro program. Plus, I upgraded to Storyboard Pro 7 from 5.5, so it'll kind of reacquaint me with the program and also let me see the new bells and whistles on the new thing. I'm going to listen to all of the Circus of What albums and outtakes and kind of edit together like a bunch of the like little, just weird little moments that I think would make funny, like just random things. So, I haven't, exactly picked what they all are going to be, but just things like, Luke's dying, Mom, who will shovel Sarah's driveway now? Not it. Just like little bits like that, and then just kind of maybe put like little like beeps in between them. So they might be from actual sketches, they might be outtakes, but I've just been in my mind thinking about, God, I really want to do something with that for years. So
please do that. Please do lots of them. I want to see these. Please do lots of these. I want to see these.
Another thing I thought is, even just in the super short form thing, that would be great for things like TikTok. Like just like, make them like in a square, or able to make, square to share them on social media too, but just make a whole bunch of little weird things, and then, just get warmed up. And then what I'm going to do is write some brand new short animatics with characters of my own invention, like something to show, like, TV, primetime sitcom type Simpsons Family Guy aesthetic, and then something to show Cartoon Network aesthetic, and then something to show like Looney Tunes aesthetic, just so I have a bunch of little like 30-second animatics to show that I can do various things, and that I'm a much more marketable. I'm a marketable person, because right now the only thing on my my portfolio page is stuff from Mighty Magiswords, which at this point is all over 2 years old, and then there's that song I did, the Least Favorite Things thing, which is, it's good, but it's not like, it would be a bad first thing for somebody to see if they're trying to hire me, because it's not like the type of animatic that somebody's looking for when they're looking to hire somebody. So I need to move on to that. But before I do that, I had the two things I was talking about. One is for my friend Julie. Some of you might know Julie Whelan Capel. because she used to be the host of the big masquerade at Gen Con every year. She would typically dress up for the masquerade as a Star Wars character. She does a really great Mon Mothma because she already looks like Mon Mothma to some degree. So she would, whenever she would dress like that, when you would get the results of the masquerade, she would say, "Many Bothans died to bring us these results." So anyway, she and her friend, because they're like at that sort of pre-retirement age, they have a podcast called the Seniortopia Show podcast. So they hired me to take a bunch of clips from their show and make kind of an audio trailer. So I did that, and I'm also the official kind of voiceover person, like the intros and outros and stuff on their shows is all me that I edited together a couple years ago. So I wrote some copy, and so I have like myself doing the, giving the important info. Go to seniortopiashow.com and blah blah blah, and then in between are clips from there. So it took a few go throughs, but I finally got that trailer done once they liked the right balance of clips and stuff. So that thing's done. The other thing she commissioned me to do is to write a parody of the song "The Road to Morocco" from the old movie with Bob Hope and Bing Crosby about the show itself. So it's going to be called "The Road to Seniortopia." So I wrote it, and I'm happy with it. And I asked Tom Smith if he'd make the music, and he said yes. And so Julie's going to pay him for the music, and I'm waiting on that. The other weird twist was they said that rather than it being me doing impersonations of Bob Hope and Bing Crosby, that since she's a longtime friend and fan, and since a lot of the listeners of the Seniortopia show are women, she wanted to have Carrie be on it, so it would be like just me and Carrie singing in our own voices. So I asked Carrie, and she said yes. So basically, I'm waiting for the music so that I can record my parts and a demo of Carrie's parts, get it to Carrie so she can record her parts, and then that will be done. So the other thing is for another friend who I will leave nameless to all y'all in the public, but I mentioned way back in around January that I had wanted to do a short comic project, and this person basically said, "Here, I'll give you some money as a commission for you to take the time to do this comic project that you really want to do." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And again, she said no due dates, so that's why it's been put off until now. But I because I want to get all of my paid commitments taken care of before I devote all my time and energy to the animatics and finding the job thing. It's like, okay, I'm finishing this up. So I wrote the comic. It was like 2 pages written. I did a bunch of thumbnails and laid out the panels. I figured and I'm doing this at the same size and resolution as professional comics in case someday I ever wanted to actually print up my own comic book to like sell at conventions or whatever as a short run. So I managed to figure out that it's going to be 3 comic pages. I then went through, took all the thumbnails, scanned them in, and laid them in so that I could figure out where all the panels would be. Then I went in and put all the black square whatever panels. Then I went in and added all the dialogue in Photoshop, and then I added all the word balloons and filled those in. So now I have like everything all prepped for me just to do the drawing, the inking in of all of the characters, and then do the coloring. So I think I'm only like a day or 2, possibly 3 days away from having this thing finished, and then I will post it for everyone in the world to see. And I'm looking forward to it. In fact, I just started doing the inking a little bit earlier this afternoon. So yeah, that's kind of what's been taking up my brain. Another cool thing that that won't take long to explain is yesterday me and Kyle recorded the Next Tunes podcast, which is posting Sunday. And the first half we talked about the Cuphead show, and there's the Annecy animation convention put out this half-hour video showing like the making of Cuphead behind the scenes, and it looks amazing. And a bonus in it is one of like my former storyboarding partner at Magisword, Zoe Moss, is one of the storyboarders on Cuphead. So there's a lot of shots of people at home kind of working on the show and doing their own little bits. So Zoe's in it, and she's awesome and hilarious. And then Gray Griffin is the voice of Miss Chalice on the show, so she's nice. In it too. So we talked about that, and then a month ago we tried to do a segment where we were talking about all of the art lessons I've been taking with Rich Ahrens and Steven Silver, and due to me not having a paid Zoom account at the time, Zoom like ended the thing and didn't save anything. It didn't save the audio or whatever. So that whole like hour or so we recorded like got obliterated, and we didn't bother re-recording it at the time because we moved on to our other topics, which I think were the Scooby-Doo movie and Looney Tunes. So this week I got all of my lesson art organized in order in a folder, a few folders actually. And for the second part, since we're recording on Zoom and Zoom always records both audio and video, I shared my screen with Kyle so that we could discuss my art again, going through it and actually looking at the stuff we're talking about. So I took that video and I edited it together, just that half of it that where we're talking about those images, and I've put it on my YouTube page. So when the podcast episode gets posted on Sunday, I will then make it, out to the public. So it's about a 40-minute video going through all of the art I've done lately with Kyle and I talking about, the things I've been learning and working on. And of course, I put in plugs there for both Rich Aarons and for Steven Silver so that if people want to take their classes, they can take it. So
cool.
Anyone who's really interested in, what it's like to try to be an artist, trying to improve their skills at age 46, you can check out that on my YouTube starting this Sunday morning. So yeah, I think that covers all the main things I've been doing. What have you been doing?
Dealing with some legal crap because last week's FuMPCast video got taken down from YouTube.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, we got a copyright claim from BMG Music Group for the use of the theme from Hotel California. And the email they sent us said, "Don't worry, your video's still up." But when you went to watch it, it says the video's not available in your country. And I was like, but it said we're still up. Well, apparently we got taken down by BMG Music Group from Brazil. So it's the video's still up if you live in Brazil. I don't live in Brazil, so I had to edit Dave's song out of the video. And what I did was just because I'm a wise ass, I edited the song so it's backwards and sped up, and then just put text over it explaining what happened with a link back to the song on the FuMP. So the video has been restored. So if you missed last week's show, you can now go watch it up on the page for the FuMPcast on thefump.com or on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/funnymusicproject.
There's no recourse to that. I mean, I've disputed some and gotten a couple videos back up, but usually I put a parody up and I go, hey, it's fair rights, fair use, whatever. And 9 out of 10 times they're like, okay, yeah, fine. And the other 10, it's like, no, it's just gonna stay down forever.
Yeah, we disputed it at first, because I've had that happen before, and I've disputed it, and I've had it, go through. This is the first time I was ever denied. The email came back. BMG has reviewed your claim and decided no, you're not fair use or whatever. I don't know. I guess they don't have fair use in Brazil is probably what the issue is, because that's a U.S. copyright law. So whatever, it is what it is. So the other thing I've been working on is a new song, Teasing.
Oh yeah, I should add that to my to-do list.
Yeah, you really should.
I'm literally going to do that right now. But keep talking.
And the other thing is I've been working on the video for Spider-Verses, and you'll be happy to hear I finished Kyle's verse, shortly before the show this evening. So that leaves 2 more verses. I've got Lex the Lexicon Artist, which will not take long at all because it's mostly already done, and I just need a little bit of cleanup to do. And then I have Luke's verse to do, which probably won't be any more difficult than any of the others, and I'm sure it'll be easier than Kyle's, at least, because Kyle's was a pain in the ass. But so yeah, that's about all I have been up to. Joe, what have you been up to?
It's apparently all classified stuff.
Oh, okay.
No, I have a lot of stuff around Netflix. Surprisingly, I have a cartoon series that strangely is from Brazil. That,
Don't play Hotel California in it because it'll be taken down.
They do a lot of copyright hedging stuff on there, but not quite over the line. But that's supposed to be out, and I can't tell you the name of that. And then there's a live action series which is I guess really big in Japan, and that's supposed to be on Netflix. And then today, or earlier in the week, a friend of mine sent me a link to submit your ideas to Netflix and we'll do amazing things with. So I had like an old idea and I had a audio recording of it from several actors. I'm like, here's the audio recording, here's a poster, here's a script treatment, and it's one of those throw it out there and forget it and see what happens.
Can you send me that link? Because I have ideas.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And your mic is doing that breakup thing again.
Hang on.
It's a Zoom issue, people. It's Zoom doesn't like his microphone for some reason.
Okay, that's better.
That's better.
That's better. But that and then the usual auditions and trying to get out of the country things. Before it all explodes.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so give us a quick intro to this song you posted, and we'll give it a listen. And actually, since it's a video show, we're going to play the video.
Cool. Actually, this is from based on Bruce Springsteen's "I'm on Fire," and the reason I even thought of that, as a callback back to Luke, is Gray Griffin recorded a version of that, and hers was absolutely beautiful. In
She's
fact,
a beautiful singer.
Wonderful. I liked it a lot. I told her I liked it a lot better than Bruce Springsteen's because honestly, I didn't really like Bruce Springsteen's that much. I thought it came off kind of creepy. Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? So I'm like, I should make this creepier. And I haven't done a Corona song yet, so that's this.
All right, here is I'm a Virus by Joe J. Thomas.
Hey, little cell, got a nice genome. Can I come and use your chromosomes? I'm a multiplier. Oh, no, I'm a virus. Hell no, baby, you ain't got no flu. Gonna show you what COVID-19 will do. Oh, no, take your fever higher. Oh, no, I'm a virus. Sometimes you might wander through a room that's way over full, and there's no 6-foot distance between all you fools. Every day gonna make you shake, cough, and sweat, but all I wanna do is get out and spread. Only you fulfill my desire. Oh no, I'm a virus. Oh no, I'm a virus. Oh no, I'm a virus.
Very nice. I was very
First time
happy
I've
when this
done
one came
a
through.
Boss song.
What was that?
First time I've done a Boss song.
That's fine. No, this came out really cool. I was very, very pleased when this came through the site.
The surprise for me was once I thought about it, I looked up the lyrics and I went, "Wow, this song's really short." I I thought it was longer because it got played so much when it first came out, and I kept hearing it going, "There's a song, I'll just turn the station." But yeah, it's like basically a verse, two and a half verses, two verses and one little chorusy thing.
And how long is each verse?
Almost nothing. tiny things, you know. It's and every time I read through the lyrics, I got creeped out from. It's like
Oops, what the hell just happened here? My OBS window just, oh, there it is.
oh, weird.
I was trying to adjust levels here, and my window disappeared. And I got scared. I thought I screwed up the show. But no, it's still going. Seems to be fine. So yeah, I love it when that happens, when I go to parody a song and find out that it's much shorter than I thought it was, because that has happened a couple of times.
Yeah.
Or it's like,
Yeah,
oh, this is going to be easy.
Like one of the last couple I did, I looked at it and it's like, 7-minute song. How am I going to do a 7-minute song? It just goes on forever. And this one was like, it's so short. And then I'm like, I should do a video. So I threw the video together, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try some chroma key green screeny stuff, but I don't have a green screen. So I chose black. And then I found out the program I could use can do a double green screen, which was really weird, where I had pictures of the virus going around, but the background was blue. And I went, I don't want blue. So I chroma keyed the blue on that with a black background behind it. And then I chroma keyed the black on my layer to see the virus. And it's like, oh, I get how this works. But that was brand new for me. I hadn't messed around with chroma key that much.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's what I'm having. That's what I'm struggling with right now with the Spider-Verse's video, because we filmed it in front of a bed sheet for most of it, and unfortunately it works somewhat, but the issue is that some of the costumes and stuff are like roughly the same shade. So I'm dealing with parts of people's bodies becoming transparent and having to mask around that. So it's been a challenge. I'm not the greatest at video. I'm enjoying doing it. I'm learning and I'm getting better, but video has always been my weak point.
Yeah, I started out the same way with editing pictures. I grabbed GIMP as the first tool, and I went, okay, I can't afford Photoshop, so I played around with GIMP, and every time I play with it, I learned something new, and it's like, oh, look, a magic select, or look, I can loop things, or, you learn a little bit at a time.
I tried GIMP once years ago and played with it for 15 minutes, and I was like, no, this is not for me, because I learned on Photoshop when I was in college on version 2.5, and before they had layers. The good old days.
Wow.
And so it's like I know I used to teach Photoshop at the college level. I know Photoshop inside and out, and it's like, so making the switch over to GIMP, I was like, no, I can't. It was just too different. And
yeah, it got better. It's gotten better.
I'm sure it has.
The latest version it's got layers and it's got, more tools, but it's not fun. I've watched tutorials on Photoshop and I go, oh, that would be so cool to have, but it's so expensive.
It is. It is expensive. So yeah, I love this song. I love that we're getting topical coronavirus songs, because there's a lot of them, but the stuff that we've been putting out on the FuMP has been really good in my opinion.
Yeah, I love some of it. I've been listening to everything that comes out. But while I'm still talking, I did have a question for Luke.
Yes.
On the voiceover side, it's been changing because the studios can't have us in yet. How's the animation side going? Has it?
Well, there have been tons of articles out about how, most of these came out months ago, but it was still Hollywood, shutting down, can't film new TV shows or movies, but the animation industry is booming because so many people like me right here are in the animation industry can work from home. Lindsay Smith, who is the awesome wife of Mr. TV's Kyle, and lives 80 feet that direction. She is the lead character designer on the Hulu show Solar Opposites, co-created by Justin Roiland, and it was just announced that they are officially announced that they got season 3. So she's going to be working on that, and she told me the other day that she has been going into work, which is in a building in downtown Burbank, which isn't too far from here. But she said that they might just decide to have the rest of the season, or for some chunk of time in the immediate future, just have everybody work from home, which she is totally able to do. So it's, so as far as animation industry goes, there are a lot of studios specifically putting out mentions that, we are looking for people to work from home. And I have been in all of the places I have been, they say like, we're looking to hire storyboard artists, and then you submit your stuff. I've made sure to mention in the little area where it's like, any other important information, that I mentioned that, I have a Wacom Cintiq 22 HD drawing tablet and Storyboard Pro 7. I am able to work from home. And unfortunately, I haven't gotten any bites from that recently, but I know a lot of other friends of mine have been getting jobs working from home. So, and in fact, the thing I mentioned earlier about Cuphead, my friend Zoe has been working on that show from home, and so is the rest of that thing, and they're with Netflix animation. So
cool.
And I know a lot of my friends who do voiceover are doing the same thing. In fact, most of them already had home record booths, that were all set up and professional. So many of them were just kind of good to go. In fact, it's sort of an age thing. It's like the older the person is, the less likely they already had a home setup. But then when this all happened, they all had to, learn how to do it, and they have been. So yeah, for everybody else in the animation industry, things are still going and there's still shows happening. In fact, there's been networks have been putting out, it's like, we're looking for animated shows right now to greenlight because we can't greenlight any live action shows. So people I know have been, like I did a gig a few weeks back for a couple of guys who had this sitcom idea that was originally meant to be live action, but they wanted to turn it into an animation show because they figured they could get away with more kind of line crossing humor that way. And they asked me to design the characters for it because, they weren't artists and, didn't know how. So I designed their characters for them, and they were, basically, they weren't rushing me or anything, but they were anxious to get it done because they knew that the iron was hot and they wanted to strike. So I got the thing done, and they apparently went out and pitched. I should touch base with them and find out if anything became of that, because I haven't heard from them. But
yeah.
So yeah, so like I said, I want to recommit myself to like get out there and stuff, so that everything I've been sending is like the same resume, and they go to my website and they be seeing the same stuff they've been seeing the past year. So if I'm recontacting these studios and getting the same people, they're not seeing anything new. So that's why I need to get on this. But yeah, the animation industry, as far as I can tell, is doing pretty darn okay. So
yeah, awesome. Well, good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Thank you.
So Joe, anything you want to plug or anything else you want to talk about?
No, just the usual. If you want to see weirder stuff about me, it's on joesdump.com, and it's got everything. I've done a little bit of tinkering with poetry and opinion pieces and music and even a weird animation bit. So
cool. All right, we're going to move on to the news and the second song and interview and all that stuff. You're welcome to stick around if you'd like. You're welcome to take off if you got other stuff to do. But either way, thanks for joining us.
Yes,
cool.
Thank you.
Cool. I'll hang for a bit.
Okay. Let's do some news.
This is the FuMP.
It's going to disappear. One day, it's like a miracle. It will disappear. And from our shores, it could get worse.
Dr. Fauci, bring us good news. Give us relief for this pandemic blues.
Wash your hands. It's not that hard to avoid groups and stay 6 feet apart. It's not just about you. It's a damn pandemic. All we're asking you is, don't be a dick.
It's like we're playing Minecraft and we're stuck in the nether. We'll get out whenever.
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. THEFUMP.com.
Everything is canceled. Everything is closed because we're on quarantine. Everything is canceled because of COVID-19.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, Devo, Spice, and Luke Ski were on the Weird Alphabet podcast recently. Yes, Luke and I were interviewed by all 4 hosts, one of which is Michael William Hunter. The other people whose names aren't on the website, so I don't know what they are offhand. Actually, I have them in the. I sent out an email blast today, and their names are in the header. So if you want to know what their names are, you'll go look at that.
It's David Spencer, Andrew Frola, Daniel Kaka, and Michael Hunter.
Thank you. And yeah, they had us on to talk about White and Nerdy, which was a lot of fun.
Oh, sorry. We had each separately a long time ago asked to be on the White and Nerdy episode, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Not knowing the climate we'd be in at the time we got to this episode, but I think it went rather well.
I think so too. I'm impressed that they managed to edit it down to an hour and 15 minutes. Because we talked for almost 3 hours, I think, didn't we?
2 hours.
2 hours? That seems like 3. But yeah, you can go do a search for the Weird Alphabet podcast. Luke and I are on episode 225 for White and Nerdy. Needlejuice Records has a new compilation out called Needlejustice, where they are raising money for the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. This is a compilation album of songs of artists who are on the Needlejuice Records label, including a new song by Worm Quartet, which if you've seen Shoebox perform live in the past year or two, you've heard it. It's only 17 seconds long, but it's a good one. The last day to nominate a song for the Logan Awards is tomorrow, Friday, June 26th. So last day to nominate your favorite songs for the Logan Awards. Go to LoganAwards.com and click on nominations at the top of the screen. Any song that was released during the calendar year of 2019 qualifies. The FuMP's June newsletter went out today, or yesterday, or recently, I don't remember. It was the other day, I guess. With news and updates and featured videos and yada, 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 all of the usual stuff. If you're not on our mailing list, you can read it online at tiny.cc/FuMP0620 for June of 2020. And that's all I got. You anything before tour dates?
Just want to mention Dr. Fauci by Carrie Dalby, and a video by Dr. Don up at the YouTube page of the Funny Music Project. The FuMP is at 199,442 views, which means it has 558 views to go.
Come on, people, we can do it. We can do it.
So please go to youtube.com and watch it and share it and say, hey, everyone, watch this so that we can cross that line, and then I'll shut up about it.
Somebody go to YouTube and watch it 500 times. That's all it's going to take.
Mm-hmm.
I have Russian bot. I will put it on that.
Thank you. All right, tour dates. Every other Sunday online, Lauren Mayer. Wednesdays online, Mark Gunn. Thursdays online, Steve Goodie and Psycho Stick. And Fridays online, Carla Ulbrich. Also Fridays, Escape from the Secret Lab featuring Dr. Pinkerton. And on July 3rd, Undercover Fun Time is going to be their captive for that week. Also, on the 27th, which is Saturday, the online festival is happening. They're having an online event happening from 12 to 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, whatever that is in your time zone, featuring John Bermuda Schwartz, the Double Clicks, Bolognium, and many more people who are scheduled to appear at Festival this year. They will all be making online appearances. So details, and you can tune in at festival.com. And this weekend, the 26th to the 28th, in Wichita, Kansas, Mikey Mason with a apparently in-person appearance. So, all right. That's it for news. That's it for tour dates.
Hey, I wanted to ask you something real quick.
Sure.
Are any of the episodes of Friggin' Here that are up on the archive, am I in any of them, like, live in the studio?
Did you do any live in the studio?
Not one that you were on, but one that Twink was hosting.
Then no, because the only ones that were recorded were the ones that I recorded. Twink didn't record any of them.
All right, cool. Just curious.
Sorry.
It's okay.
We should have the episode with Tim Cavanaugh though, because he came out to the show when we were on in the middle of the night. It was a late Thursday, early Friday show from 1 to 3 in the morning, and we had Tim Cavanaugh in the studio. It was great. So that should be one of the shows.
Another thing. So the whole "Do the Cow" music video, is there a new date on that, or what?
Oh yeah, no, I keep forgetting to mention that. Yeah, we're still looking for footage for the "Do the Cow" music video from people. And shoot, we should have mentioned that in the newsletter too. But yeah, basically, look on the FuMP.com for the "Do the Cow" entry in the news, and submit your videos so that we can get this video put together. Because we only have a couple clips right now.
Long story short is, if you go to tinycc.dothecow, look at the video that Devo made, then film yourself doing the same thing, and then send it to us. It does not have to be complicated. You can just
also doesn't have to be outside. You can do this in your living room.
Yes.
I just did it outside because I wanted to. All right, so our second song this week is by Steve Goodie, with a song inspired by Amanda Cohen. Here is Too Soon.
Dum diddy dum, why we gotta be dumb? Too soon. It's much too soon. Some folks refuse to stay home. Don't wanna stay indoors no more. Quarantine is too hard. Wanna go bowling and get my hair done. They say it's all overblown. Dum diddy dum diddy dum diddy dum dum. Is it gone? Is it gone? Dang, it ain't gone. But out they all run too soon. They go out in defiance against all reason and science. So proud of their non-compliance. Weeks of quarantine, now they all want haircuts. Screaming hoax, bearing arms, they're protesting and not distancing. Then there's the Trump team. Oy vey, holy crap. They're nuts, trying to sell hydroxychloroquine. Much too soon, too soon. Virus is still multiplying. They don't mind grandma dying, but I still kinda like mine. Open up, we need to buy stuff, and we listen to Trump too soon. And when the cases start spiking, they'll say, sorry, we didn't understand. But pandemics with an exponential rate of transmission should not be taken lightly. Was it worth that trip to Disneyland? Want some fun, we gotta have fun. Good Lord, are we dumb? Too soon. You refuse isolation, and you fear vaccination. I will plan your cremation. Is it gone? Is it gone? Dang, it ain't gone. Want some fun, we gotta have fun. Open up, second wave coming up. We need to buy stuff, and we listen to Trump, or even if we don't, we gotta go out and earnestly protest the egregious and ongoing racial bias in law enforcement and in society in general, which is commendable to protest, but we still need to be careful and stop confusing peaceful protesters with rioters and looters who should also wear masks. Actually, they should just stay home and not riot and loot, but in any case, too soon.
I'm here with Steve Goodie. How you doing, Steve?
I'm fine. How are you?
Welcome back to the FuMPCast. It's been so long
Thanks.
since we've had you on last time.
I know. Everything's changed.
Yeah. So tell us about this song.
This song was the brainchild of Amanda Cohen, which I thought was a very clever idea. We wrote it together and then recorded the audio and then made a video. And hooray!
A song is born.
Yeah.
Out of America's ignorance.
Mm-hmm. That's where they mostly come from.
Good point. Yeah, I was talking to a coworker this morning about things. There's some type of like coronavirus metal festival happening.
Really?
And, yeah, it's just
like an actual festival.
Yeah, like a music festival, like and stuff. And I forget when it's going to happen, but my coworker was like, "Yeah, they're practicing social Darwinism." And I was like, "Yep, that's pretty much spot on."
Mm-hmm. Good for them. Yeah, I think we should come up with some sort of ventilator medley or something.
That's an idea. So how are things going with you with this whole lockdown and whatnot?
Oh, the usual. I'm one of the lucky ones because I can still work. Record
Your
people's
hair is
songs.
impressive. I'm liking that.
Thank you. Yes, I'm calling it the Pandemic Pompadour. And I think that may be the next song, a little Elvis thing. Yeah, it's just like somehow you managed to get a haircut and I haven't figured it out yet.
That's because I haven't had a haircut in an actual barber or beauty salon or anything like that in about 15 years now.
Wow.
My wife cuts my hair with clippers.
The only person who lives in this house with me actually got a degree in cosmetology, but not for guys. So she's afraid to touch. And if the person who's allegedly cutting your hair is afraid to do it, don't do it. Don't talk people into cutting your hair.
That's good advice, generally. Yeah.
So. Yes, I'll just hook up something to the vacuum cleaner and the hedge trimmers. It'll be fine.
The Flowbee, yes.
Yeah.
They still make those?
I made my own.
Make your own.
If I had, I wouldn't look like this. Yeah, I think I'm approaching Michael Landon levels now.
You're getting there, yeah. I like it, though. It's a good
Thanks.
look.
I appreciate that.
So you're still doing the online shows?
Yeah. Not as many, because the actual tour, the physical tour that was supposed to happen was from April to the beginning of June. And so that it's calmed down. Although I just did one just 7 hours ago at 5 in the morning my time for a group of people in Australia for whom it was 8 in the evening. And that was fun.
So
and
did
also
you get up early or did you stay up late?
I actually never went to bed. Yeah.
Okay.
And had some folks tuning in from Sweden and Scotland and somewhere else. It was very international. It was crazy
That's
that this
awesome.
could possibly work, but it did.
Yeah.
And the one request I got, would you do Dumbledore? Like, yep. Yeah, I will. I guess that's the song I have that speaks the most internationally.
Yeah. I have no sleep. I will do Dumbledore.
Damn right I did. I don't remember it, but I did it.
Did you get through it okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as well as I ever do. I don't think I've ever done it perfectly. It's just too much. But I come close.
Okay.
Come closer than anybody else.
So do you have any more shows planned?
Yeah, there's a couple coming up, but I can't remember exactly what they are. I think they're mostly private things.
Okay.
One is, I'm doing a show through Flappers out there in Los Angeles that Amanda hooked me up with. It's a burlesque thing that I'm the comic in the middle of a whole lot of boobs, and then me. So
Nice.
we gotta get Sea Monkey involved in this somehow. And then I got a private one for a synagogue in Indiana, I believe, that my friend Brad referred to me. The guy who's booking this, his name is Mark. He called up Brad, said, "Hey, I need some comedians." And Brad said, "I'm a comedian." And he said, No, I need Jewish comedians. Ah, man. And I'm pretty sure that there's something unconstitutional about this, but he handed it off to me. So I'll do that. And Brad is in the process of converting.
Okay.
So that's coming up. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of house
special
shows.
process that you have to do to convert to a Jewish comedian?
Yeah, you have to watch that particular episode of Seinfeld over and over and over.
Okay.
I think that's about it, really. Oh, and a bunch of Krusty the Clown wouldn't hurt.
Yes. Awesome. So you got anything you'd like to plug?
Just everybody wash your hands and stay in the damn house. It's not over.
Yeah.
It's too soon. And go to stevegoodie.com for all of your entertainment needs.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Tom.
And catch you next time.
All righty.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback, you know that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback. Father Beast wrote, I just listened to Devo and Luke on the episode of the Weird Alphabet podcast talking about White and Nerdy. You guys had a lot of interesting things to say about that song and rap music and comedy rap music in general. Now, I don't get rap music, which makes sense since I don't get poetry in general, but it's possible that I have no soul. But I have something to ask you guys. You had a lot of glowing things to say about White and Nerdy, but what do you think of Weird Al's earlier rap offerings, such as I Can't Watch This, I'll Thing, or dare I suggest Twister? We actually talked about Twister on the show.
Yeah, I have a ton of glowing things to say about Twister because it's an original song that was meant to be a style parody of the Beastie Boys' License to Ill album, and it was like the most perfectly done parody of that album's music that probably has ever existed. It's like I said during the podcast, I kind of pulled up my old Rap Dementia Manifesto thing, and I did kind of go through some of it, but there was a whole huge other page of notes that I didn't even get to because that would have really made us a 3-hour podcast. But I did have on my list there, I specifically wrote down all of Weird Al's hip hop parodies just because I thought perhaps we'd touch on more of them, but we ended up not touching on them. But our overall point with Al, as it pertains to his covering of hip hop, is that he cares about the source material and the history and doing it right, just like every other musical genre he goes after. So everything he's done has been in hip hop has been just brilliant.
Yeah, I've always liked Twister. I can't watch this and I'll Thing, I think, are weaker songs than Twister, and in my opinion, White and Nerdy is by far the best of his rap offerings. But I still like I Can't Watch This and I'll Thing. I mean, I don't think they're bad songs by any means. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, like we said on the show, Al is really talented. He's really good at what he does, and he cares about, the music. So,
yeah.
Father Beast also wrote, going back a few episodes, I have to ask myself, is there any more typical Luke Ski thing to say than, quote, I went to a department store to get a webcam. They didn't have any, but I got a Squirrel Girl action figure, unquote. I have to say no. I think that's probably the ultimate Luke Ski quote.
Other than possibly, I'm trying to make this about me.
Yes. All right. That is it for feedback.
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah. Teasing. Tomorrow's song is by Worm Quartet. Holy crap.
Woo! Yeah.
God damn it. It's about time.
Talk about yeah.
And we're going to have a bonus Sunday slot, assuming Luke gets me the recording I need. And Tuesday song is not yet posted. And I will dig out that soundbite and get a thing going for that at some point. Next week's Spotify playlist topic is summertime and the beach. Because why the hell not? It's summer now, finally. Even if we can't go to the beach, people are anyway. So, whatever. All right, Joe, you're still with us. Give us a plug. Plug yourself one more time.
I love our listeners, and I would do anything for them. joesdump.com.
All right, and Steve Goodie is at stevegoodie.com. And, yeah, that's it. That's a show. All right, let's get out of here.
Yep.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski.
And there's Joe.
I'm somewhere else.
Yeah.
In the closet.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of FIDEM Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Shout it to random people on the street. And be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
I got voodoo, I got hoodoo, I got things I ain't even tried. And I got friends on the other side. You got friends on the other side.